Alrighty. And we're here. TGIF, thank Ganja. It's Friday, everybody. Let's put a little music on. Let's see what we got today. We need some good fun music. We need some good fun music. It's a lot of crazy news out there, but I think overall we can all be a little bit happier than we've been for the past few months. Where's my happy beat? Let me see. I got a new one. I'll get a new one. Let's see here. Give me something. All I have is sad music these days. All I got is sad music these days. All right. No, we're not doing that. Here we go. Here we go. Thank Ganja, it's Friday.
Woo! Thank Ganja, it's Friday.
Who we got in the chat today?
I see World Traveler and myself.
It's just me and you. I like it. It's all right.
We had a good bunch in last night. They will get their notification thingy, I hope.
Yeah, everybody will get it soon while we're here dancing.
You can never count on notifications. They always come late, if at all. I don't like that.
It's absolutely ridiculous that YouTube says, okay, well, you subscribed, but we want to make sure that you really want to know what you subscribed for. Like, when was subscribe not enough? Like, what's going on? Did you press the bell? But did you press it twice? Oh my God. So
I never use that option, like which ones do you want the notification for, which ones do you not. I mean, I don't know. There's so many things about YouTube I like, but there's so many other little nitpicky things that are really irritating, especially for creators.
It's getting more and more irritating. But you didn't hear that from us, YouTube. We love you.
Oh, yes, we love you. You're still the best. You're the best.
Well, listen, you know who's the best? People. We are going to go through these because we got a lot of good news. We got some iffy, crazy news. Of course, when you're dealing with the orange orangutan, you're going to get shit on the wall. But for the most part, the good news is that you saw the poll numbers on the thumbnail, everybody. Can we just run through them real quick? This isn't today. This was like yesterday, I think this came out. But on 538 and Ipsos, Harris at 45% versus Trump 41%. The Big Village poll, Harris at 50%, Trump at 43%. Suffolk University, Harris at 48%, Trump at 43%. And this is nationally, of course, so it's not as impactful as the swing state polls, but even those are getting up. It is sky's the limit for Harris. I don't know why. First of all, everybody say what's going on to the illustrious, the illuminated, the well-informed Laura Malcolm, my co-host. How are you?
Hey, everyone, again. Hi.
We never said the name.
Bruce, well, we sure missed you. It's been 2 weeks, and there's a whole lot that's gone on over that couple of weeks, and I was glad to see you manage to get some footage from the protests down there and have some commentary on it and reactions. It was really cool. I hope you get to do more of that, but not such a rushed emergency thing.
I hope so too. I really enjoyed it, man, and I will say thank you for holding down the fort while I was gone. You guys crushed it last night. We got over 3,000 views doing the live stream. You really crushed it, and
Thanks.
You really held it down.
I did it.
Go ahead.
I didn't look around, but I think we might have been the only channel that was hearing it.
Right. Yeah. And now it's demonetized. Listen. We had to be, but whatever it was, It was. I think. Let's look at the numbers. Still, I mean, we're still at 3,800. Like you really did it, Lord. I appreciate that. And you guys in the chat room, chat section,
the whole crew was there to keep me going along, making me laugh at their comments. We only had one little troll, and all you had to say was Trump, Trump, Trump.
Well, that's
Trump
all.
will win.
Yeah, that's all they have
Come
to
on,
say.
give us more than that.
They're not sending their best, Laura.
No.
They're not sending their best. All right. Yeah.
Not anymore. No.
Yeah.
They used to have some real professionals out there in 2019 and 20 whenever.
Well, this is what happened to them is you had to go so far lunatic that it started to get like weird and sick and boring. You get people who's downing a guy with special needs, Tim Wall's son, right, and calling him stupid and ugly and what's wrong with this stupid crying kid, and it's like.
And even blaming Tim Walz for having out-of-date sperm.
Oh my God, man! And
There's just no bottom. They're disgusting. They're loathsome, abominable.
Yes, all of those things. Loathsome, abominable.
Basket of deplorables wasn't strong enough, Hillary.
It definitely was not. But you know what, though? Here's the thing. Most of these people may have already been dummies. I mean, I don't know when Laura Loomer was ever worth listening to. I don't know when what's her face that always used to end up, the one that wrote the book about Trump, like how much they need Trump, and then like the next year later wrote how bad Trump is. What's her name? Who knows? Listen, Jesse Waters, all of these people have never been that good. And it seems that now that they can't talk about someone's age, or they're finding all of their insults falling flat because Kamala's not answering. She's just not answering.
No, that's right. She's not taking the bait. And they got even they speaking of Jesse Waters, if I could I sent in the chat because I just saw it. Jesse made a comment about Kamala being taken advantage of, or manhandled or something.
Yes, and
which what's her name, Janine, immediately said, "Oh no, don't say that," and he tried to cover it up. But today he actually apologized in his smirky way.
Yeah,
he had to retract that, but then he went on to immediately diss her in other ways.
And they're
horrible.
This is the thing. He's so used to. If people have saw that clip, he said, "Well, we'll just play it real quick." I'll tell you what he said. We'll play this first, and then we'll get into the CNN.
The rarest thing on television. Fox News covering its ass live on air.
I wasn't suggesting anything of a sexual nature.
Here's the story. On Monday, Jesse Waters said something disgusting about Vice President Kamala Harris.
We don't know who she is. We don't know what she believes. She's going to get paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her. Right now,
Jesse.
Whoa, Jesse, I don't like that. Figuratively,
Take
again.
it back.
Yeah, when you lose Janine Pirro, you gotta know you've gone too far.
Have their way.
All right, hot take. Here it is, guys. When you're so used to speaking, hold on, let me put my mic back up. When you're so used to speaking, like an ignorant ass, when you say the N-word every other word, at home, then you have to really hold yourself back when you go like into the office, right? Or you're so used to dogging women that when you go out and you realize, oh wait, I'm amongst polite company, I can't call her a this or a that like I do with my guys, right? When you're that type of person who thinks that, like Trump, you go on a bus and you go, hey man, you can just touch a button, and they let you do it. And you Elmer Fudd your way through life and you fall up this ladder. Does he really mean it sexually? Probably not. honestly, he's just talking like the frat boy that he is, using the same language that he's used to getting away with all the time.
Mm.
But
Well, he's
at some
talking
point,
about.
at some point, so he's saying that they're going to run circles around her because she's weak. But he uses that language, have their way with her, because it's something that he said so often about women and men that I don't even think when he said it, he meant to be low as usual, but he didn't mean it like how everybody else took it. But all the other women who are there who don't speak like that every day, they'll if he had said something that was slightly racist, it would have gone over their heads. But because they happen to also be women, to them, they heard that thing. And I don't think but the point of it is that we were talking about earlier. You've got to now get so low, so disgusting, so brainless, so nasty to be a part of the club that they've lost everybody. They've lost everything. And so they have nothing to come back at Kamala with. They've got nothing going on. And the big deal is the only people who are still taking them seriously is CNN. That's it.
And who takes CNN seriously?
Right.
No.
So why the heck, when you have these polls, when you're on the rise and you're doing everything right, would you go on an interview with CNN?
Why?
Because why? Because everybody on the right says that she needs to do more interviews. Really? Like what? Like Arlington? What do you mean? What she need? Like what? Like selling internet playing cards, trading cards? Like when did she become the person who has to do an interview? But CNN has to take the bait. The New York Times, the worst of all, has to take this bait, right? Has to continue pumping this drum because they're the most important. And so Kamala, you guys saw it last night. She goes live with Tim Walz on CNN. And if I could just say, Dana Bash. What did Kamala call her?
She said, "Oh, I don't even know. No, it's Dana. I think it's Dana, but she called her Dana. And oh, pardon me, Dana." It was so,
beautiful, because she saw through what it was, guys.
Next question.
Exactly. Dana looks at her and says, "He says you're not black." So, you know, what do you say to that? What do you think I should say, Dana? What are you looking for here? You've got the vice president sitting here, and I understand that this is news, it's money, it's ratings. So when you ask that question, fine. Understand that I'm not Trump. I don't have to call names. I don't have to be a dummy. I don't have to go to the lowest common denominator and make them feel good while they pleasure themselves to my misfortune. I don't need to do that. But then Dana, instead of saying, well, good for you, or, all right, well, we'll leave, she's like, is that it? Is that really it? That's funny. I didn't hear you ask one single is that it to Trump during the debate with Biden. Did anybody say, is that it? No, not once did anybody say, is that it? She had so many more follow-up questions for Kamala than she had any time she's ever had to deal with Trump. And it's just telling. Talk to me about it. You saw it live. Tell me about this. I only saw pieces before I had to turn it off. What was your assessment of this, Laura?
It was exactly what I expected from CNN. and I was really, really smiling and clapping and cheering for Kamala for not taking the bait
Yep.
and for doing those things she did about the mispronunciation of the name. And
I wish I could find
everything
that.
she said was fact checked by PolitiFact. There was nothing that she said that wasn't accurate. Maybe a little bit off, a little bit here and there, like the fracking thing. But hey, she said, how many times did she have to say her values have not changed? Let's see.
So there was a moment. There was a moment, and if you're in the chat, let us know these moments that we're talking about. If you remember, Dana herself said, "Are you really like sticking with Bidenomics is good?"
Yeah.
CNN. Have you seen the Dow ticker that you have 24 hours a day on your screen? What exactly? Why are you the ones taking talking points from Fox News and acting like what is going on? They're a failure. They're a failure. They're a failing news organization. I can't wait until their ratings are just so low that they just start doing infomercials. Like,
well, they did bring in 6.5 million viewers with that.
oh man, that's what they wanted.
6.3, pardon me. Yeah, that the audience size was slightly larger than a typical town hall or formal interview of a presidential or vice presidential candidate.
Wow.
So they got their views, they got their eyeballs.
They got what they wanted. Yeah. Well, listen, guys. If you are still watching CNN, make sure that it's for comedy purposes, because there's just too much real news out there. Before we move on to the next one, did you see the plant? The CNN plant. How they had somebody who was supposedly undecided.
Oh, yes.
Right? Undecided. And then, of course, Midas Touch, the great Midas Touch that came out seemingly out of nowhere, who's done amazing stuff, goes and looks, does a face check, does a reverse search, whatever it is, and finds out that this guy is a straight-up Trump sycophant. And CNN feels like they have to put one of them in there. Just so that they're what? So that they what? Are they trying to be first in line to the jail cell when Trump gets elected because of their malfeasance? What, do they really think that, well, maybe we'll get a more cushy cell if we do things that, he's already told you that he hates you. At what point will CNN stop genuflecting to their Orange King? I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
Well, when they first sold out to that guy, what's his name, Chris something, and then he screwed everything up instantly, and then a lot of the hosts either quit or wanted to renegotiate. Anyway, then he was gone. And then someone else who owns it now. I mean, it's just ridiculous. There's no standards. I don't get it. I never was a fan of CNN to begin with. It's just, the wallpaper at the airport, basically.
Right, that's exactly what it is. I have no more words for it except for the fact that you failed yet again. Luckily, Kamala did not take the bait, but everybody has their own opinion. The truth is, it didn't matter. I am more worried that Kamala felt like she's being pressured. Her campaign was doing so well. Whoever it is that pressured her, or whoever it is that said, you know what, you got to do this. They're talking about you not taking an interview. I would say, I don't have a brain worm. I don't have a dolphin head on my car. I do not put dead cubs in the park next to a bike and act like it was hit by a bike and died. Like, whatever it is that you think I need to do, you're wrong. Whatever the campaign, you guys, all you got to do is keep trolling him on Truth Social, keep acting like he doesn't matter, right? Keep giving him more crowd sizes and sending him pictures of the crowd sizes to call AI, and we're good. Whoever told her that you need to go and prove something on CNN, it failed, because you already got the bump. We told you the poll numbers, people. At least Trump was narcissistic enough, if not smart enough instinctually, to know after that debate from Biden, he said, shh. Do you remember? Trump had nothing to say because CNN would do the work for him. He let Fox News do the work for him. He did. Yeah, Biden was out and about, and he went to the NATO summit, did amazing. It didn't matter, and Trump was like, "Listen, I don't have. They're doing this. I don't." For about 2 weeks, he had nothing to say until it was no longer Biden. That's what Kamala needed to do, and if this doesn't give some sort of ammunition, because it doesn't matter what she says, good or bad.
No.
Any words of ammunition. Yeah. So if this doesn't do anything, then from now on, all you need to do is show up on the 10th. Kamala, if you're listening, I know ever since last night, Laura grew this show, so we might have a chance now that you're listening, Kamala.
Hey, girl.
Hey. Stop. Just stop. Don't do anything else. Just stop. You're winning. You're ahead. Go and tour Georgia some more. Tour Georgia some more. Tour Georgia some more. That's it. That's all you got to do. Unless you plan on developing a brain worm, unless you plan on going to Arlington Cemetery and symbolically pissing on the graves of the dead who served this country, just don't do anything, Kamala. He's got it. He's got this. He's got you. Let Tim Walz go out there and be funny, call him weird. All you have to do is just keep laughing, keep showing up to the people who already like you, and then show up on the 10th and let them see that side by side of the orange orangutan, of the tangerine tornado. Let them see the underpriced suit, the cheap big clown suit that he pours his fat tangerine sprayed skin into with his hay for hair pasted onto a pasty scalp. Talk about sharks and electricity, and you win. That's it. That's all you got to do. That's it. So you can hire me. I'm available. Except for Friday nights at 10:30. So
Okay.
just to prove that they're winning, is that lack of ability. They don't know what to say. They've got to go so low it keeps hurting them. And when they're not going low, when they're trying to find something to diss Kamala with, it rolls off their back. I have a clip here from iHip News, right?
Yeah, I like them.
I like
hey,
them.
Jamie.
And,
Groundhog.
but before I go into it, what do we know? What do we know? What is going on with Tulsi? I didn't get to see that one. Did Tulsi Gabbard went ahead and backed up Trump, but I didn't see the footage.
Well, where was it that she did that? Tulsi, what did she join his campaign, or what did she do? She just
She did a speech somewhere. She did a speech somewhere, and
Tulsi joins Trump. Let me see. Like, she officially did it 4 days ago at a National Guard event in Michigan.
Okay.
And was it today she hosted this thing? She was the moderator for the Wisconsin town hall. Yesterday, which was very strange and very Trumpy.
Oh, and now she's on the transition team. So
yeah, I don't know what the heck she's doing on their team.
So RFK decides that he calls up Kamala. People, I'm sure you know this, but if not, RFK decides to call up Kamala and say, listen, what are you going to offer me to endorse you, to back you, to give you all that whole 1 to 7% I have in the states that I'm actually allowed to run in? To get those people, what are you going to give me? And Kamala hung the phone up in his face. Right? And as the dial tone echoed through the tunnel bored into his head from the brainworm, he picked up the phone and called up Trump and said, what will you do then? And Trump now has said, well, I'll make you a part of my transition team. This is just gross. This is the absolute worst. I could see if you said, well, I'm standing on something with this virus stuff and my anti-vaccine stance and the all food is horrible. Yeah, I know, microplastics exist, bro. But at what point is it a toss-up for you? JFK? RFK? What? At what point is it a toss-up? Well, Kamala or Trump. Nah, they're the same. No biggie. Like, anything that he says from now on, or anyone who tells me that I should be watching or looking or thinking about him, you've lost the plot. You've lost the plot. And I won't. Thank you. But yeah, Tulsi is here.
Yeah,
Let's see what we got here.
That's right. She and RFK are honorary co-chairs on the presidential transition team. Yeah, honorary. And I just saw this headline: Trump admits he had no idea what he was doing. Town hall. Oh, had no idea he was doing it while on stage with her. Wait, Trump admits he had no idea he was doing town hall with Tulsi Gabbard while on stage with her. Trump admitted he had no idea he'd be taking part in a Wisconsin town hall event with Gabbard as he stood on stage with the former Democrat. Yeah.
Are you serious?
He actually thought he would be delivering a prepared campaign speech for his supporters on Thursday night. I figured I was going to come here and make a speech. I have a speech all set for you. I was ready. And they said, you're doing a town hall. And I said, no, nobody told me that. I said, who's doing this? Tulsi? I said, well, that's at least good news. I've been a fan of hers for a long time so I didn't even know. I'm in the plane and looking over some material, and we're going to give you a hell of a speech tonight. We're set to give you one hell of a speech. They said, no, sir, it's a town hall. I say, why doesn't somebody tell me this stuff? Oh, God.
Kamala, why are you doing an interview?
This is The Onion, man. This is The Independent.
Kamala, what are you doing? Don't do anything. This stuff writes itself. I cannot believe you just read that to me. You're sure that's the actual news?
But she says, thank you too much. She's weird. Thank you.
He says, yeah, and about that, Trump, she was saying thank you so many times because the crowd was cheering so loudly in a ravenous state of exuberance for her, and she was trying to get them to calm down. I know you've never seen that before until January 6th, I'm sure. So you have no idea what that looks like. So, that's what she meant by thank you, thank you. I know, your narcissism caused you to tune out the cheering, why she kept saying that at her speech when it started, but fine. So, yeah, I'm looking at it here. Full speech at Wisconsin Town Hall. So that must be Fox News. Like, that's their... How is it a speech or a town hall, Fox? Wow. All right, and then...
I don't know. Tulsi, as far as I could tell, just stood there. Looking like another one of our in-action Barbie figures.
This is wild. All right, people, we're on to the next one because the stuff writes itself. Writes itself. That was a laugh. Thank you so much, Laura, for reading that. No jokes necessary. If you want to, you can blow the whistle one time so we can say we're doing something. Because it seems to just...
I got organized and put everything away.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll take that. Cleanliness
no whistle
is all
available
right
at the moment.
All right. What else do we have here? Just for the ideas that are like the lack of fighting back, and why you don't need to do this. What do we have? Lewandowski back on the campaign.
Yeah,
they needed him,
and instantly went on MSNBC and
they needed him.
Did the usual Republican weird ass thing and tried to talk over everybody and lied his face off and deflected and then made accusations. And well, a lot of us are really pissed off with Melber for having these creeps and weirdos on looking for his viral moment like he did with Navarro.
Yeah.
And he got one with Lewandowski, of course, who kept pushing this misquote or out of context stuff that's something about whatever he said, Melber said. And then finally Melber had enough and said, you keep going on, you're looking at a lawsuit, buddy.
Whoa.
Cut the interview. So
oh, yes. On Melbourne. Okay, I didn't understand.
That
okay.
went viral.
That went viral. That was hilarious. Let's take a look at it. Might as well. Might as well take a quick look at that. Let's see. Let me see if I have that one here. Because after this, we're moving on, people. Not everything that Trump does to destroy his campaign and his I don't know, can he go? I mean, you can't say reputation, right? That doesn't exist. Anything he seems to do seems to backfire. But the Arlington thing, which is what we're going to next, seems to be the one thing that all sides can agree on is pretty much disgusting. So let's see if we can find the Melbourne thing quickly. If not, I'm not too worried about checking on it. Although I thought I had it here. Come on. All right, we'll just plug it in. We'll plug it in. Anyway, like I was saying, while I'm looking for Ari Melber and...
I don't know if I popped it in there. Did you?
Maybe not.
I don't think it's in there.
Okay.
Oh, well.
No biggie. I got it right here. So I'm just... all I'm going to do is show the ending of this interview so everybody can
Kamala's
see.
Dangerous
Hey,
open
look,
borders
Ari
agenda
Melber
is
seems
on
to
the
have found
ballot.
some balls.
And your vote in Georgia can end Kamala's chaos.
Only when it's talking about him, is it? I see. Well, at least for that, we can be thankful.
That time, and this is now your chance to
There
address
you
this,
go.
and you're not addressing
Ari,
it. That's fine.
Ari, you're not
people can read
addressing
that for
the fact.
themselves.
You're not addressing
You want
the
me
fact
to
that you said
respond to you
Donald Trump
now we're at
has
the
a
end of the interview?
bandage on his
You want me to
ear.
respond to that?
Okay.
I'd be happy
do
to
you
since
agree
we're
that
on
you
live
were
air.
wrong?
I'm gonna respond to you on live air. I quoted a New York Times article that said, at the convention, Donald Trump was his own biggest prop. It was a New York Times quote about how he had become such an important figure in rebounding from what was a horrific assassination attempt. Fox News, which Corey, I said I'd address it, I'm going to finish. Fox News many viewers may not know about this, but apparently you do, and some do. Fox News, which has been caught in defamation, ran a false piece, falsely stating that I said something else that I didn't say. So I stand on that. I stand on the New York Times
So you
quote.
didn't say this bandage was a prop, a spectacle from a candidate who was obsessed with spectacles.
Mr. Lewandowski, I did not say that. That is a false quote.
Right here.
And
it's clear.
what you have is a false quote. What you have is a false quote. And if you, I'm putting you on notice, if you continue to repeat falsely that I said that, you will be potentially in a defamation situation because I didn't say that. But I understand that you're working off the internet, which is a lot of false information.
This is what it says
I wish you
right
luck
here.
with that. And Corey Lewandowski, we gave you time.
So you
I
would
appreciate you
apologize
coming
to the
on.
president for that.
Thank you for joining me. Corey Lewandowski, Trump 2024. We heard from Trump 2024 official Corey Lewandowski. Now we hear from an Obama campaign veteran, Sheikh Komanduri. Your thoughts on Mr. Lewandowski in the interview?
Well, you know, we heard the phrase alternative facts. This was an alternative world. This is an alternative world where Donald Trump is some anti-vax war.
All right. We'll see you in court.
Yeah, I mean, I'd stopped showing him for a week or so after he had the Stephen Miller thing on.
Yeah, that.
And I gave him another shot, and he instantly blew it with having Lewandowski on. But, you know.
Jeez Louise, man. Jeez
I
Louise.
don't know.
So, here's the issue. And I think that there's a theme building here. Like, Kamala, you're winning. You're winning. These people are flailing. And the more that we see, and guys, we're talking about a child brain that's also mixed with affluenza or influenza, right? The
influenza of affluence, as you so eloquently put it.
The influenza of affluence. I guarantee you, if Kamala just never ever says anything again, Trump's flailing will become things of absolute historical legend, i.e., going to the Arlington Cemetery, going to Section 60, which is reserved for the people who have died in wars that are active or recent, the people who are still coming to look at these gravestones and pay their respects and cry, all go to this section. So because of that, there are rules and regulations that say, no, you cannot bring your camera in here and take a picture that will be used for public use. There's very specific things, like if you're part of the family, you cannot bring the news media in here. You cannot especially take video or pictures, use it for campaigning. And this guy, Trump, because he's flailing, albeit he was invited there, decides to go there for the first time in 3 years and basically just do a thumbs up on the grave of dead soldiers. Now, if you listen to a guy named Steve Shives, he said, as a matter of fact, I'm just going to let you listen to a little bit of what he said up front, and then we're going to talk about this and then go on to the next one if you want to. But what he did in Arlington has to be the most disgraceful show of dismissal of life, of this country, of ideals, like every single thing that you want a president to be or a human being to have. He has none of it. He has none of it. But let's listen to what he says. And the idea that these guys are too bad to even satire. Let's see.
If you've been in a recent crash, watch out.
Listen
Some
to
lawyers
this.
are buying your confidential accident data.
Yesterday, I published a video titled, "If Republicans Said the Quiet Parts Loud About Veterans," and I wrote that video last week. I shot it on Saturday. I edited it on Saturday and a little bit into Sunday, and I published it yesterday, which was Wednesday. And in that video, there's a line, a joke, where I, in my character as the sort of embodiment of the Republican Party, say that the Republicans guy, by which I meant Donald Trump, could go to Arlington Cemetery and pull down his pants and pull down his diaper, threw a little extra dig in there, and take a shit in Arlington Cemetery, and he could and he still wouldn't lose support. Like that wouldn't be the end of it. And then Donald Trump is in Arlington National Cemetery, and he does not literally take a shit on the graves of American war dead that are buried there, but symbolically he does. These people are really hard to satirize. It's really hard to imagine a point that they won't go to or a point that they haven't gone to yet, and then to go there through comedy, through fiction, in order to illustrate how awful they actually are in real life. It's really difficult to do that with people who seem to have no limit to how truly awful they are capable of being.
And that is the point. That's the point. Not only it does you no good to defend yourself against them. It does you no good to try to find try to find a way to combat their awfulness or idiocy. The truth is, the only thing you need to do is turn the camera on and everyone else ignore this child. I have a feeling if we do that for the next 60 days, you're going to see some batshit crazy. Because it's only going to escalate.
Okay.
It's only going to escalate. That's what you're going to... It's just going to... He will continue... while he's flailing, you will never be able to satirize and talk as bad about him as he will do for himself. This is what he did today, people.
Said flat out that Joe Biden killed the children of Gold Star families. The reason they are dead is because Joe Biden, and by extension, he actually says her name in this clip, and Kamala Harris killed their children. We are in a situation in America where we have two political parties, one with reasonable policies, a reality-based view of the world, trying to make the lives of Americans better, trying to shore up the damage that was done from an international relations, foreign policy standpoint by Donald Trump, trying to claw back a subsection of the country that many believe are lost. I am one of those who believe many of these people are lost. They are irredeemable. They are a basket of deplorables, if you will. But a lot of elected leaders in this country, Democrats, think differently. And they're trying to do everything they can to win the day and bring these people back to reality. So when Donald Trump was in Potterville, Michigan yesterday and talking about the Arlington National Cemetery thing, it's obfuscation, to say the least, but it's also projection. It's also an attempt to set right what he cannot set right.
Okay. That's the fact. This guy, Captain Bone Spurs himself, hates the military. He is called out by every single person who's been in the military who doesn't want to take over the place with white Christian nationalism, right? Every person who's been around him in the military says he hates us. He hates us. And because he has no reverence for us, the U.S., all of us, because he has no reverence for patriotism, for the dignity of the lost, the dignity of those who served, because he has no reverence for any of that, every time he tries to make up for that, it's only done in a worse, it only makes it worse. Because you have to have something. You have to have something in here in order to really apologize, in order to make up for that. But when you're soulless, when you're a coward, when you're weak and feckless, and when you see the people who serve as only people to beat down on and to use and to step on, you have no idea how to make up for that. You have no idea how to make up for that. And that's why everything you do, everything you say makes it worse. Because in your mind, well, I would love it if somebody did this. Because you don't serve. You don't have a service bone in your body. So what you think, you would love to sit on a gold toilet. But if you offer one to a gold star family, they're going to spit in your face because they don't care about your gold toilet. And you don't understand that. That's the problem. You don't understand that. You don't understand that. In America, we don't have the tradition of offering people our daughters. So I can imagine that the way that you want to screw your daughter, if you would imagine if you offered her to somebody, they would go, well, thank you, sir. It's all better now. But real normal human beings would say, you're sick. We don't want that. You want that stuff. You're so far away. You're so far gone from regular humans that you can't come back from it. And every time you try, you make it worse. This is what this guy had to say, and I'm done with this rant.
Besmirching.
Are those incredible?
Anyone in any industry that thinks that they are protected, they have to think again.
Incredible parents and sisters and brothers, they asked me to go yesterday to Arlington, and I did. And while I was there for a long time. It was very tough to get to because I was not in a good position to get there. It was very far away, but I did. I made it and I got there right on time.
Shut up. You see what I'm saying? Shut up. He's dead, Donald. You got there on time, did you? It's okay. He'll wait. Was it hard for you, Donald, to get there on time? You want a cookie? He'll wait. He's not going anywhere, Donald. He's not going anywhere. Was it hard for you?
And I spent a lot of time there. And while I was there, those families that asked me to be there, as they said, 3 families plus 1 soldier who was horrifically injured. Both legs and an arm, and they asked me if I would be there, so I went. And while we were there, they said, could you take pictures over the grave of my son?
Oh, is that what they said? Is that why you brought your campaign photographer and videographer with you, who shoved the person who worked there, who tried to tell them not to come because it's illegal, because it's not allowed? Because their campaign, what is that? Communications manager, who looks like a big potato rotted in the cupboard in the dark, comes out and shoves the woman off. And the only reason why she didn't press charges was because she doesn't want the death threats that come from your horde of sick, what are they called? Zombies? MAGA zombies?
I got to interject. I got to say, I'm disappointed in the Arlington Cemetery higher ups for not hitting back harder or standing up for her better.
Yes.
I mean, they put out a statement.
Yes.
And listen to this, okay? Maybe the family did ask, or one or two of them, I don't know, but they were told no, and then Mike Johnson got involved, and he persisted for a couple weeks until they get all they got was no from Arlington. So it's not like Arlington didn't know he was going to be pulling something.
Wow. I bet that they didn't tell that poor lady who was just trying to do her job when she saw what was coming.
What was she doing there alone? I mean...
So, yeah, I'm done talking about his sickness. Our sickness is still... We have, 67 more days to prove how sick we really are. Will we still kowtow? Will we still allow this? Is the question. Will we still allow this? And yeah, I'm with you on that. The first thing I thought was, wasn't he charged? Well, I'm scared for my life. All right, I hear you. That's true. Isn't this a military cemetery?
That's what I mean.
Excuse me. I didn't do much. I'm not a war vet. I got a little medal because I was in boot camp during the Second Iraq War. Oh my God, yeah, I think it was the second. Was it the first? No, I'm not that old. Okay, I got a little medal because I was in boot camp, but I also served long enough to know that the military doesn't take orders from ex-presidents. That there's a strong enough force at any military cemetery,
potato-y looking campaign staff,
or the rotten potato stuffed in a cupboard looking campaign manager. I don't understand what hold does this clown have over our government, over our people? Anyway, you said it right. I am very disappointed that
and not only that, now Trump's trying to say it was a setup. Biden set him up to look bad.
Oh, that's why you put the thumbs up over the
That's it.
Over the grave.
But yeah.
Yeah, everything is. Look at them. And to be honest with you, anybody who believes that now, you're going.
When told it was his campaign's TikTok that posted the video, I really don't know anything about it. I stood there and I said, if you'd like to have a picture, we can have a picture.
Guys.
This was a setup by the people in the administration that, Trump is coming to Arlington. It looks like so that looks bad for us. Yeah, right.
All right. Yeah. So before we go,
Biden's fault.
We're gonna go on to the next one if you want to get that ready.
Yes, please.
But right before we go, I'd like to just say this to the people. The setup that he's talking about, the picture of him and that family with the thumbs up, because he's a narcissist and because he doesn't understand that the other stones that were there in the picture belong to other human beings and aren't signposts for dogs to piss on when they come through. Those are also headstones. One of the ones that was in the picture that had the name of the person on the headstone was someone who killed themselves after, I believe, 8 tours of duty. And their family saw your thumbs up over his grave. That's the setup. That's the setup. There are other people there. I know you don't know that. and the one who was horribly wounded. I'm sure he likes being described that way. Other humans exist, Donald, and it's obvious what you are and who you are. And those who back you and have somehow still sustained this thing that you do also should be condemned. All right, what do we got next?
Just to add on to that, I think he repeated himself or doubled down on his gold star or whatever, the congressional medal equivalent of blah, blah. It's better to give it to them when they're alive.
Yeah, I didn't even
Sister,
get to, oh my God, hold on.
Would you take pictures with us, sir?
Real quick, I did want to say what this guy said.
And then I said farewell. I said goodbye. And last night I read that I was using the site to politic. That I used it to politic. This all comes up. I go there, they ask me to have a picture, and then Joe Biden killed their children.
All right. So that it has the maximum impact. You see, this is how a 5-year-old with influenza, I'm sorry. This is how a 13-year-old with influenza and grave narcissistic debilitated by his narcissism, whose parents never loved him enough to even think about therapy, and who indeed can continue to make it worse. This is what that person does when they think they're making up for their deficiency of empathy, their deficiency of decency. This is how he believes he's making up for his deficiency with the military. Let's hear it again.
And when you think about it, Joe Biden killed their children by incompetence. Should have never happened. Kamala killed their children, just as though they had a gun in their hand, by gross incompetence. And not one general or incompetent bureaucrat was fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
The most embarrassing moment in the history of our country was the day that you swore into the presidency. That was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We've had a civil war. It was not that embarrassing. Because at least one side was fighting for decency. The day you swore into the presidency, the rest of the world knew that we're full of shit. That we can never be trusted. The rest of the world still knows that. They like to see Biden. They hope Kamala wins, but they know that another Trump is around the corner. The bastion of decency that we used to hold around the world is finished. Because you are the most embarrassing thing to ever happen to this country. And it's not because your campaign manager looks like a rotten potato stuffed in a desk drawer. And it's not because you wear stupid, oversized suits with straw for hair pasted on to an orange painting that you call a face. That's not the embarrassing part. It's everything else about you. You child. All right. What do we got next? What's going on with the IVF thing? Isn't that what's happening?
Well, they just keep pretending that we're all stupid and lying in our faces, and Shady Vance keeps just doubling down on his misogyny and.
Oh my God!
It's. Let me see. I lost that tab when my page shut down.
So, I mean,
but the whole IVF issue.
What did he say about this? See, I missed that one. See, when I'm
Okay.
going.
Let me see if I can pull it up again. J.D. Vance. Well, he did some recent interview where he doubled down on the remarks he made about childless families. Oh, there was that one recently where he used the image of somebody who was a North Carolina beauty pageant contestant.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful, but I think I've lost the IVF story.
All right.
I can do something about it later.
Yeah, don't worry about that because I got this Vance thing.
But
so I know the big IVF thing for me is, like, I didn't know about what Vance said about it, but I did know that somebody asked Trump about it. He's like, oh yeah, I'm all for it, and the government's going to pay for it too. That's what I heard about it.
A political opponent. This during a 2021
and anybody who believes that I have a bridge to sell you.
When after a teachers union leader,
okay,
horrible. He was trying to make
so many of the leaders of the left.
All right, check this out, guys.
So personal about this, but they're people without kids trying to brainwash the minds of our children. If she wants to brainwash and destroy the minds of children, she should have some of her own and leave ours the hell alone.
A CNN K-File report found several other instances in recent years where Vance brought up this topic.
Oh, by the way, he's talking about a teacher. I think like maybe
Randy
like
Weingart.
Yeah, if he's talking about, I think it's like a teacher or maybe someone who who's in charge of the teachers. I'm not sure, but this is how he's talking about an educator who doesn't have kids. And everybody's been bringing up the nun thing, like, oh, so all nuns can't teach at a Catholic school? And yeah, that's a good point. But I think it takes away from the disgustingness of it. What he's saying is, you woman, you dirty whore woman, are nothing but a vehicle. You're nothing but a vessel for what I feel is necessary. You're nothing but a test tube that I use as a man to procreate. Without that, you are nothing. Your intelligence means nothing. What you have, what you say, what you think, what you've done in your life means nothing unless you become the test tube for my seed. That's what he's saying. That's what he's saying. That's it. You went to Harvard? Good deal. You had a baby yet, bitch? That's what he's saying. And I think that trying to bring up all of these other equivalencies is softening it. Vance would have you in one of those head things that they had women wear, where it would keep your mouth shut and put you on a leash. That's what he would have. That's what he would rather. Because he hates himself so much because of his gay thoughts and his gay tendencies. And he hates himself so much because he's been beaten and browbeaten by women who are smarter than him. And he's been in a party where he's supposed to be whatever. He's given himself this role to play that he can't fill. He hates himself so much because of these things that he would take it out on a woman for the rest of his life in order to feel better about himself. That's who we're putting in the vice presidency spot. That's who wrote the foreword to Project 2025, J.D. Vance. So when Trump tells you that he knows nothing about Project 2025, you say, that's cool. Ask your vice president. He wrote the foreword to it. It doesn't matter if you know anything about it. You're going to put the people in place that are going to bum rush it over you. while you pee on the graves in Arlington. That's all they need you to do. So, Jesus. Let's see what he said.
We should care about declining fertility, not just because it's bad for our economy, but because we think babies are good. And we think babies are good because we're not sociopaths. Why have we let the Democrat Party become controlled by people who don't have children? And why is this just a normal fact of American life? We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies. Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, AOC, the entire future of the Democrats is controlled by people without children.
So while that childless cat lady's remark is perhaps like, you can print it on a t-shirt, which is why it makes it so devastating for him, this is part of a pattern, Matt Gorman. There are more comments that basically underscore the philosophy he was trying to articulate with that one phrase.
Yeah, and look, I kind of keep thinking back also to earlier in the show. This is kind of in a new reality now.
Yeah, I don't want to hear what the hell you guys have to say, because you're not going to say it right. You're not going to say it right. What you need to say is the people who allow themselves to believe whatever J.D. Vance is saying are the same people who walk around with test cups with fake semen in it that says J.D. Vance on it. Because to them, that's how they own the libs. This is what we're up against. The next time somebody tells Kamala to go on CNN because she hasn't done enough interviews, I hope her response is, did I have a test cup with fake semen in it to prove a point about children being necessary to women before they're important? And if the answer is no, then my answer is I don't need to do shit. I don't need to go anywhere. That's it. These people are crazy. They've lost it. Anyway, what you got? What's next?
Moving on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know we got gross there, but it's the truth. It's the truth, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right, I want to take. I know we're super late. We'll take the McMaster book. We'll do something separately on that. We'll do something separately on that. I want you to talk about this LULAC, because that's the video's like 45 minutes long. What's going on with Paxton and the Latinos?
Oh, the Texas torture trio, I guess.
Yeah, what's going on here?
They're terrible in Texas. They like to torture in Texas.
Really?
Well, Paxton is being a thug, sending in SWAT teams and stuff to raid the LULAC staff. That's the Latinos United. Oh, what does LULAC stand for? I suck at these acronyms.
I got League of United Latin American
That's it.
Citizens.
League of United Latin American Citizens.
All right. And so he's sending in SWAT teams because what are they? Are they like an advocacy group, or are they like trying to sign up people to vote? What's happening?
Yeah, they organize and sign up voters here. Hang on.
So you're saying the state attorney general,
Mm-hmm.
swatted people that he didn't like because they were trying to get people signing up people to vote? Is that what you're telling me?
Pretty much.
Wow.
I keep getting ad blocks. 87-year-old LULAC volunteer said A.G. Paxton sent 9 officers to raid her home. Texas Attorney Ken Paxton raids Latino Democrats' homes, including those of LULAC members. The nation's oldest Latino civil rights organization, LULAC, is one of several entities in Texas targeted in voter fraud raids led by State Attorney Paxton. The organization is accusing Paxton's office of carrying out illegal searches premised on voter fraud. They
Wow.
Some of the group's Texas members are targeted, had their laptops and cell phones confiscated. Some of the raids focused on Latino activists across the state. He's using his position of authority to harass and intimidate Latino nonprofit organizations like LULAC, Latino leaders and LULAC members. It's point-blank voter intimidation, evident through his pattern of lawsuits, raids, searches, and seizures, and he's trying to keep Latinos from voting. 87-year-old Lydia Martinez, who lives in San Antonio, has been a LULAC member for over 35 years, works to expand voter registration among seniors and veterans. Greeted by nine officers in tactical gear and firearms, said they were executing a search warrant. She was questioned for over 3 hours.
What?
I saw somewhere in there they were taking DNA swabs and all kinds of crap. Yeah. And LULAC just a month ago or slightly a week or two after Harris was given the nomination, they gave their historic first ever endorsement. No surprise, huh? And they're also gaining ground in Florida. So
and that's what happens, people. I think we do have a theme. That's what's happening is they're flailing and they're having to go so low, be so disgusting, that the things that may have worked when it was on the fence, the things that people can let go of, are now finally, for some reason, adversely affecting them. Being mean and disgusting is now adversely affecting them. Being illegal. Go ahead.
To be the opposite of mean and disgusting, just for a minute, I see Stephanie B has to go now. She's tired, and I want to say to her, happy birthday, and you're welcome.
Happy birthday! I'm sorry we took so long. I know we should have been done, but it's my fault. I can't stop ranting.
I was rushedly looking for articles to source. Good night, Steph. Talk to you tomorrow. No, Monday's the holiday, isn't it?
Yeah,
well, have a good weekend. I hope you get some visits.
So I think that Stephanie B is giving us the right thing here. We're gonna end this on a couple things. We got to talk about BB, and I want to just say this, people. There's a stolen identities on X. The Georgia lawsuit with Kemp removing the electoral board, right? Or if he can remove it, and the lawsuit. People are fighting back. You guys know what we want you to do. But everything that they're doing, like the fake IDs, taking women's faces and putting MAGA hats and MAGA shirts on them and having fake accounts with beautiful women on there because they can't get real ones. And all of the women that they think are, the women that they have look like gargoyles. Because they're all as fake as Donald Trump's hair. The backfiring that's happening with Georgia, because Trump is so dumb, he decides to go in there and beat his chest like an orangutan about the illegal things that he's got going on. And so now Kemp is under fire. This LULAC, all right, the League of the United Latino Advocacy Group. This is where it comes down to before BB. Do you know that all of this is happening? All of this is happening in a state that's supposedly so red it could never flip blue. Why are they doing that? Do you want to know why they're doing that? I'm going to look up something on Google right now. And we're going to go Texas. I'm just going to ask a question. How many voters have been purged in Texas since 2016. Now, I doubt I'll get that exact number, but what you are going to get, Texas has removed over 1 million in this one. Abbott's removed over 1 million. Let's go back to, let's say, all of this was a couple days ago. 1 million people. This is the most recent one. But let's go back to 2023. Latino voters civil rights group has, so this is 2019. Texas, another settlement with Texas over purging of voter rolls. That's 2019. What if we went to 2020? If you go to 2020, right here, whatever, Democrat and Chronicle, hey, was your vote registration purged? What you can do about it? That's 2020.
Every goddamn time.
What's happening is they're not red. They're not red. People, ever since they got rid of the Voting Rights Act, what these southern states could do to us, if you've noticed, Texas is not red. They just cheat. They just cheat. They intimidate. Why, if you were so daggone red, so unbelievably red that you don't have to worry about it, are you swatting old ladies? Why are you passing laws to purge voter rolls? They're not red. For the past 8 years, for the past 15, 20 years, and especially for the past 8 years, since they got rid of the Voting Rights Act, they've been cheating. They've been cheating. They've been taking black people, poor people, minorities off the vote. They've been destroying our communities. The truth is, if everyone was allowed to vote in Texas and it was held properly, Texas would have been blue 4 years ago. Georgia. Did you know that Georgia, Kemp, that same guy who now has to act like he cares about what's happening because it's looking so bad, when he was running to be governor, he just so happened to be the Secretary of State and ran the elections? And he got rid of over 1 million people, sounding just like Abbott? Do you know that Stacey Abrams would have had probably something like 15 to 20,000 more votes than he did both times she ran, if not for the purging? Georgia's not red. It's not red. It's been blue. It's been blue for over 10 years. They've been cheating. So if no one else ever tells you that, find solace in the fact that the only reason why they're doing this stuff is because we're winning. It's because we're winning. They're dying off. That's it. They've been cheating, and they're going to do everything they can to cheat some more. I think it's time that we turn out in droves, that we tell our friends they cannot win when we turn out. There's no such thing as these swing states anymore. I don't believe it. If you see how much these people have been cheating and stealing, Texas would have been blue at least 8 years ago, or okay, at least 4 years ago. I say more than 10 years ago. Okay? Georgia went blue. But somehow, the Secretary of State becomes the governor in his own race that he was running in, that he was overseeing. Get out of here. Georgia's been blue. We got this, people. They're scared. That's why they're doing this. And we have to take the fight to them. Unlike when I came back from Chicago, I had this. To show you guys what it looks like, but I'm sure many of you have seen it. If not, go and take a look at it. We did the, I think Laura mentioned it earlier. When I came back, I've been putting up some videos about the live pro-Palestinian demonstrations that I saw. I did interviews. And the number one thing I asked them was, I know that you're trying to turn the needle, Laura, but why aren't you taking the fight to the people who actually want to destroy you? And I believe the number one answer you get is, well, we're not going to change their minds. I'm going to put it to you like this. If fighting the people who actively want to destroy you won't change their minds, why did we have a civil rights movement? How did we happen to fight that? What side was it that you were able to march on, Laura, in the women's rights movement? Was there a side that you could march on that was down for you getting the vote? Or did you have to fight the people, all of them, everybody who was against you? Do you know how we got it? Because once the dogs attacked, once the hoses are turned on, once the rhetoric was seen nationwide and the people were embarrassed at what they've been voting for, the people were embarrassed to see what they've allowed to happen while they were asleep, they pressured stuff to happen. The DNC isn't going to get any pressure more than you marching. But if you march where it's dangerous in Texas, where you might get swatted, how much do you want to bet that after that swatting, and now that they've put themselves in danger, was the first time that group decided to back somebody? How about when you put yourself in danger, when you say, this means enough for me to lose some skin, that's when the change happens. That's when the change happens. And so you got to see this pro-Palestinian demonstration live video, the interviews. I mean, I agree with them, but the truth is, we're fighting back, and we can't be afraid to put some skin in the game. We cannot be afraid to put some skin in the game. That's the only way it changes. We can march on Democratic people all day, as long as we make sure to find ourselves where the dogs and the fire hoses are. Because until we get there, we're going to have things like number 9, our last actual story before we get to the good news.
I've never been afraid of a fight.
Never been afraid of a fight, and I know that.
Tell me I can't do something? Watch me.
What just happened to these Latinos is going to cause another firestorm. It may not win the war, but it would be it's going to do a lot more than them marching on the Democratic Party. I can tell you that much. The fight that they're going to have is going to cause people to see it. But lastly, before we get to whatever good news you may be able to find, because really the funny thing is the polls, Kamala's winning, we're surging, and Trump is still an orange idiot. But just so we know how dangerous he is, I cannot find it, but I'm just going to say, I'm going to look at history. Here we go. That's all I got to do. Let's see.
The Biden
here's the
administration
Hill.
finally agreed to ban Peter Daszak and EcoHealth Alliance from receiving any more funding for gain-of-function research. You'll recall EcoHealth Alliance and Peter Daszak were the ones that were funding the research in Wuhan.
Here we go, the Logan Act.
Did Donald Trump break federal law by discouraging Bibi Netanyahu from agreeing to a ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas? PBS's Judy Woodruff said Monday that, quote, the reporting is that former President Trump is on the phone with the Prime Minister of Israel, urging him not to cut a deal right now because it's believed that would help the Harris campaign. Who knows whether that will come out or not, or come about or not, but I have to think the Harris campaign would like for President Biden to do what presidents do, and that's to work on that one. The New Republic and other progressive media outlets have raised the possibility that by having such a conversation, Trump has violated the Logan Act, which prohibits private citizens from engaging in diplomacy or negotiations with foreign governments on the United States' behalf.
Both Trump and Netanyahu have denied that such a call took place.
If that call took place, he needs to be arrested immediately. Unfortunately, I also think that he should be arrested immediately after Arlington. I also think he should have been arrested immediately after January 6th. I also think he should have been arrested or at least sent to prison after he got, 34 felony counts. I think he should be in prison for raping Jean. Carol, I don't want to say her name wrong, so the young lady who he raped. I think that the metal and the steel of our country here is being tested, and unless the people in power start caring more about justice than order, as Martin Luther King used to say, long after Trump dies, we're still gonna have Trumpism. This guy, as long after he dies, we're still gonna have Trumpism.
Yep, we still have Nazis, so we'll still have maggots.
Yeah.
Same old, same old.
So yeah, I don't know if this guy called him or not. I do know that Netanyahu showed up at Mar-a-Lago, talked to this guy who's no longer a president, and then went back, and 2 days later bombed Iran, or not bombed Iran, did a hit on somebody in Iran, and then in another, I think it was Pakistan, okay? To ensure that this ceasefire never happens, to ensure that Netanyahu continues this war. So, if you ask me, after all the research I've done with Kushner and the UAE, after all the research I've done, I can say with a straight face and without hurting the reputation of this channel that whether or not he called Bibi, this war that they're fighting is directly influenced by Trump's actions and his son-in-law, and has been since he had the UAE sign the accords to acknowledge Israel as a state for the first time in 50 years. And it sounds like that's a good thing. Unfortunately, the kings and the Arab kings and the princes who signed that also have really good property stakes in companies that want to build in Gaza. That's all I'm going to say about that. But if you want somewhere to march next, when you're done marching at the DNC, check out Mar-a-Lago. All right? All right. What we got going on, Laura? What's the good news?
Oh, well, we got some good stories, like that group that's fighting back in Georgia, trying to get Kemp to remove those electors.
Yes, yes, yes. Was he being sued? So I know Kemp already asked. He's trying to find out from the judges if what he needs to do to get rid of these people on electoral board, or if he can. But who's bringing the lawsuit? I'd like to know about that.
Okay.
I'll be looking too. Wow, I can't believe I'm looking at this screen where Trump just said Biden and Kamala killed their children because he thinks that's going to make it better somehow. My God. Anyway. Oh, all right. Democrats filed lawsuit against Georgia State Election Board. Let's watch it together,
just
people.
says Democrats. Georgia Democrats called on Republican.
Has the
Thank
opportunity not just to get by, but to get ahead.
Go,
Building up
Kamala.
the middle class will be a defining.
Oh, yeah. Did I tell you that Kamala's winning the election? Kamala's leading in most states, and I think behind by one in many polls just in Michigan. Oh, yeah. Keep that in mind. That's good news.
Goal of my presidency.
Tonight, Democrats have filed a new lawsuit backed by Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign that challenges new election rules recently passed by the state election board. The actions of the board's Republican majority have come under scrutiny ever since former President Donald Trump praised the new members, 3 of them, at a campaign rally in Atlanta. They recently passed a rule requiring a reasonable inquiry into election results before they can be certified. Now Democrats at the national level and across the state are firing back, asking the Fulton County Superior Court to make it so that certification cannot be delayed. A member of the Harris-Walz campaign sent a statement about the lawsuit, saying in part, certifying an election is not a choice, it's the law. A few unelected extremists can't just decide not to count your vote.
Yeah,
Tonight,
so they're firing back. That feels good because I was wondering what the hell is going on. I've already sent 2 letters. All right, I've sent one to the, I sent one to Raffensperger's office, and I sent one to, forget which county it was. I'll be sending more because the people that we need to be sending letters to, but we need to help out in this fight and let them know that we're watching them. Because
one of the groups that advocated rules change, VoterGA, VOTERGA, released a statement arguing that none of the rules changes conflict with state law.
Why you change the rules then?
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to sit here and I'm not even going to give these dudes the time of day. I don't believe you, and I don't care. I don't care. You're getting a letter. Guys, I have this whole thing here. It's getting late. What I'm going to do is if you email, if I have every single swing state, every single one of these election denying people who happen to be in a place of certification or counting. I have every one of their names and the county. If you need it, if you live in Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, if you live in Michigan, okay, if you live in these places and you need these names so you can send them letters and know that you too care about your democracy and the election being fair, and not do anything that'll get you arrested, just send the letter. And then send those names to the people in charge at the State Department in your state. I will send you all the names and all the counties. Email politicaldrain@gmail.com. politicaldrain@gmail.com. I will send you every one of the names and the counties that they represent. And let's help out these people, these Democrats doing the lawsuits. What else is good?
Well, we got Harris and Biden and allies hitting battleground states for Labor Day blitz.
Yes, they just left Georgia.
Major blitz of events on Monday in nearly every battleground state, including VP Harris' first joint campaign appearance with Biden since the switch. She's traveling to Detroit Monday, then joining Biden in Pittsburgh, then going to Pennsylvania. Let's see, Tim Walz and First Lady Gwen Walz going to Milwaukee for Labor Fest. Emhoff will attend Labor Day events in Newport News, Virginia. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Mitch Landrieu, Tom Perez, and others key to battleground states like North Carolina, Nevada, and Georgia. Yeah, so yeah, they're hitting the road.
I'm loving it.
Who needs CNN?
Yeah, Lord, guys, don't go back to CNN. When they asked her, are you really sticking with Bidenomics is good for us? Man, what's wrong with you, man? Yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
That's all.
Okay. All right, guys. Quick preview before we leave. What I've been working on while you haven't seen me, besides the stuff that came live from Chicago in the DNC, go check it out. Press the like button, subscribe. Show us some love on those videos. This is what's coming up next. I'm gonna give you a little preview of it, and then we're gonna get up out of here. But I thought maybe you'd like to see what I got working on. I believe it's gonna be coming out tomorrow morning. Let's just take a quick look.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve
Oh
this
God, not this.
Everyday prices are too high.
No.
Welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it and replace it with this right here.
That was a cross he was holding.
So you may be surprised to know that one of the first factions to turn their backs on the promise of America, even at the very founding of this nation, were Christian nationalists. Yeah. And they actively fought against the brave soldiers fighting for our independence, using the same rhetoric and propaganda they still use to this day. I mean, like right now. And what's even crazier, YouTube, is that that's just the first time. The concepts that's held in Christian nationalism have been behind every war that has been waged against this democracy and has spilled American blood in its name. Christian nationalism isn't just a battle of ideals and rhetoric. It just so happens to find itself at the forefront during battles of blood and sacrifice as well. So, let's talk about it. During the American Revolution, there was a church called the Church of England. This is now known as the Anglican Church. Now, they found themselves in a pickle because in this denomination, the King of England was the head of the church. Anglican priests, at their ordination, swore allegiance to the king. The Book of Common Prayers offered prayers for the monarch, beseeching God to be his defender and keeper, giving him victory over all enemies. And in 1776, those enemies were American soldiers, as well as friends and neighbors of American Anglicans. You see, this is a perfect description of Christian nationalism, whether it's a president, a king, a Congress, or a parliament. When the state deems itself the head of the church and indeed the denomination of which that church presents itself, eventually neighbors end up being others. That's why the thumbnail of this video says what it says. If you find that interesting, all the wars that we've had thanks to Christian nationalism and the people who are right now promoting Christian nationalism behind the scenes, paying for it, things like Ziklag, there's a lot in here. It's entertaining. It's also informative. It should be coming out, I believe, tomorrow morning, but just stay tuned. When you see this thumbnail, or there's a couple other ones, you'll know what it is. Former U.S. Army drill sergeant explains dangers of Christian nationalism causing civil war. You guys are going to want to see that. That's what I've been working on. You get the first preview because you stayed here till 12 midnight with us. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Laura, any last words?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of our chat people. Gloria, Darla, Kevin, Jammy Jam, Groundhog, Sean Brennan, Midas Kevin, Ellen Morrison. Who else we got here? Stephanie B, happy birthday girl. Adolf Twiddler, even the silly troll Tom with his silly parrot maggot needling, provoking silliness.
Thanks, trolls.
He was a little bit of fun for a minute.
We gotta thank the trolls. Gotta thank the trolls. So.
Oh yeah. All good there. Alrighty then. Thanks everybody. If I missed you, Poochie Ann.
Yeah, I just saw Poochie there
Gloria
too.
Marie. World Travel.
Groundhog 975. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I hope that it was good. I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys for the well wishes while I was gone as well.
Well, welcome back, Bruce. We missed you.
Man, I missed all of you.
I flew the plane solo though.
And
landed safely.
That's what I was gonna say. And you brought it in, woo, like that, like the guy in the movie who brought that plane in right on the river. You're a superhero, man. You're a superhero.
Team Drain.
Bye, guys. Love you all.
TGIF. Good night.